Hello everyone, we're doing roll call this week, and before we start I feel like I owe you a little bit of an apology. I've been trying really hard to do Monster Manual Melee and get that out on time. Unfortunately, it's just one of those ones where it requires so much prep work with, creating the monsters, updating the characters, looking up things I need to in the book, adding that all to Roll20, and then of course running the thing, which even before editing those videos are like an hour and a half, and then I have to edit an hour and a half worth of video. So I'm kind of considering reorganizing things a little bit. I do still want to do D&D content. I'm debating on doing a few things. I will post a poll in the description in case you guys want to give your input. But right now, as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I think I'll either do D&D every other week, or I might do it where every Wednesday is just another video game video, and I will do the D&D stuff as I am able, and this way it's a much kind of easier time frame. I can still do D&D every week, but I think even if I do that, I might do what I'm doing kind of like this next week, where I do like an easier D&D thing like roll call, and then do a Monster Manual Melee. But I'm going to leave it up to you guys, so if you have an opinion on what you would like me to do and how you would like me to do it, then by all means, go to that poll, give a vote, and, make your voices heard. Otherwise, I'll just kind of do what's best for me, I guess. But, again, I want this channel to be for you guys as much as it is for me. I appreciate every view you guys get. So with that, let's get to today's roll call. Okay, so for today's roll call, this idea came to me because I was watching the last of Cobra Kai, which really awesome series. Like it gets a little over the top, but that's kind of what makes it fun. So today we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make a monk, and we might as well call it Johnny Lawrence. Don't know why that Y was capitalized. But what makes this monk so special? Well, I was looking through the book again, and one thing that occurred to me is that, with the elemental monk, they get a 10-foot reach on their unarmed strikes. So we're actually going to go ahead and do a backwards compatibility. Today, we are making a bugbear monk, and they're going to be an elemental monk, of course. Alright, let me get my cheat sheet out here a little bit. Alright, so size, they are a medium creature. They have a 30-foot move speed. They have dark vision for 60 feet. Here we go, species trait. Been a while since I've seen this particular layout because the ones in Roll20 are so different. Next, they also have Fey Ancestry, and that is going to give them advantage on ending or avoiding the charmed condition. Next they get, and this is where it really comes into play, is they also get an ability called Long-Limbed. Now what this ability does and what it means is that whenever they make a melee attack, they get an extra 5 feet. Now, the trick to this is that this is only when you're attacking, so you can't use it to have like a larger area for opportunity attacks. But what it does mean is that your attack range is increased from a 5-foot square to a 10-foot square. So that's going to be a pretty big one, especially once we stack that with the elemental monk. Next, they also get Powerful Build, which means that they are going to count as one creature larger for the sake of calculating things like carry weight, how much they can push or drag. Next, they also get Sneaky. Now, what Sneaky primarily does is give them proficiency in stealth. The other thing it does is it can fit into any space that can fit a small creature. So they can kind of really, so basically anything that like a halfling or a gnome can fit into, a bugbear can too, which is kind of weird when you think about it. And next, they get Surprise Attack. And this is a nice one because if a creature has not taken damage yet in this combat, and you hit it and you basically do the first damage to that creature, it takes an extra 2d6 damage. So once again, Monk's going to be good because that dexterity is going to put them high in the initiative order, which means that he can go rush in and then deal extra damage to someone, and he doesn't even have to move that far because, again, this guy is going to have an extra 20 feet of range, or he's going to have a 20-foot range on him because he has 5. He has another 5 from being long-limbed, and he's going to get 10 from the elemental section. But on to the actual stats. Strength score is going to be 12, so that is going to be a +1 modifier. The dexterity score, important for our monk, is going to be 17. For our background, we did do Wayfarer. Alright, and so that means that's going to be a +3. The con is going to be 13. So that's going to be a +1. The intelligence is going to be 10, so that's going to be a neutral 0. He's not dumb, but he's certainly not smart. Wisdom is going to be 15, important for our monks. That's going to give it a +2. That's going to help our unarmored defense. And then charisma is going to be his weak stat. I mean, he is a bugbear after all. So we're going to do -1 for that. Okay. So from the Wayfarer, the first feat he's going to get is Lucky, and what Lucky is you have a number of luck points equal to your proficiency bonus, and you can spend one to either give yourself advantage on a d20 test or to give disadvantage to someone else on a d20 test. Then for proficiencies, we have Insight and Stealth, which we already have Stealth. I'm not going to bother. Normally, if I'm a DN, I'd say, okay, you get Stealth, I'll go ahead, I'll let you take something else. In this case, we're just going to move along. And then for ability, and then for tools, we have Thieves' Tools. Alright. The hit die is going to be 3d6s. Oh, I'm sorry, 3d8s, excuse me. Okay, the saves for a monk are going to be in strength and dexterity, so we'll mark those off. They'll have proficiency in those. Skills, I went with acrobatics and athletics. Once again, kind of modeling this off Johnny Lawrence. He's not really good much in terms of skills, but he's really good at physical stuff. Okay, for weapon proficiencies, it's going to be, because we're a monk, it's simple weapons, but also martial weapons, but only if they have the light property. And those are also going to be our monk weapons. And then for tool proficiencies, I went ahead and gave carpenter's tools for the proficiency from the class itself. Alright. Okay, so the first class feature we're getting is martial arts. That one's going to be, oh, you know what, hold on a second. I forgot to do the HP. Give me one moment here. And then the gold from our background in our class is 100. So, one moment. Okay, so our HP is going to be 21. That is, for those of you who would like to know, did I go too far? It's going to be 8 plus con for level 1, so that's 9, and then 5 plus con for every level after that. So that's going to be 9 and 6 is 15, and then 15 and another 6 is 21. Alright. So now, the first ability we're getting is our martial arts die. Or actually, it's just called martial arts, but this is where it starts explaining the main core class mechanic of the monk. They have martial arts die. Whenever they use a simple weapon or an unarmed strike, they can use the martial arts die, which starts at a 1d6 instead of the actual damage of the die. In this case, I think for a lot of people, they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to get a weapon like a quarterstaff, which I believe is a 1d8. and they'll stick with that quarterstaff until the martial arts die becomes a 1d8, and then they're just going to use their fist or whatever they want. So yeah, basically handles this also handles the concept that when you use attacks, you can use dexterity. And that brings us to our next ability, Unarmored Defense. And that is what it sounds like. Our defense, we can use a different calculation. It's 10 plus our dexterity modifier plus our wisdom modifier. So with 2, 3, and 10, that means our AC is going to be 15, which, for a monk, pretty standard, pretty good. Yeah, you're not going to be as tanky as a plate wielding warrior, but you're also going to be a little better than a wizard. So next come the focus points. And these are going to be the things that you use to fuel your abilities, things like flurry of blows, step of the wind, etc., etc. And at level 3, you have 3 focus points to use, so use them wisely. You also get unarmored movement. You get an extra 10 speed if you are not wearing any armor, which we're not going to because we're a monk, so 40 feet of movement speed. Okay. Next comes Uncanny Metabolism. And then with this one, once per long rest, when you roll initiative, you can, first off, you gain all your focus points back, which is a big one. Honestly, the best thing they did for the monk. It really helps with the focus point economy, which was terrible in the old version. And then you can regain HP equal to your martial arts die plus your monk level. So in this case, it would be a D6 and then 3. So you're looking at it anywhere from 4 to 9 HP, which, is a good chunk considering that you only have 21. So next thing you have is Deflect Attacks. And the way this works is when you get hit with an attack that deals bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage, you can roll. You can use a reaction to reduce the damage by 110 plus your dex modifier plus your monk level. If you reduce it to 0, you can spend one of your focus points to redirect the attack to someone else. If you redirect it from a melee attack, it has to be someone within 5 feet of you, and if it's a ranged attack, you can direct it to anyone in 60 feet of you. And then that creature then also has to make a dex save and that's going to be 8 plus your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency. So in this case, we're going to be at 12. And then if they get hit by it, if they fail and they get hit by it, they take damage equal to 2 of your martial arts die plus your dexterity modifier plus the actual damage of the original attack. So that's going to be a useful one, considering that you are not that tanky. If you do get hit, that's going to be a big defensive thing to kind of help turn the tide. Okay, going into our subclass now, we of course have Elemental Attunement. And just like it sounds, this is where you get to change the damage of your, you basically can, use this to change the damage of your unarmed strikes. So, you can do, let's see, what is it, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage, and it gives you the 10-foot an extra 10-foot reach on your character's attacks. So again, to give you an idea, this character is now reaching 20 feet. Normally a melee attack can only reach 5. The bugbear ability is going to extend that to 10, and then it gets another 10 from elemental. So that right there, you have a rather significant area that you can attack and fight in. I mean, to give you an idea, the spell Fireball, that's a 20-foot radius spell. So, if you're if you're working with your mage and they throw down a fireball, you can go up and you can just basically hit anything between you and the fireball and still be out of range. And even if you hit a creature that's 20 feet away from you, that means they now have to do 20 feet just to get to you. Most creatures, especially most humanoid creatures, have a speed of 30 feet. That is a lot of movement to waste just to get to your monk. And that's considering that then, if they then get to you, attack you, and hit you, you can then just deflect the attack. yeah, and or if you get hit by a ranged attack, like the one guy comes up and he's hitting you, and yeah, you can hit him, and then next their ally shoots an arrow at them, and you can go and then just use it to get the guy that's in melee range of you. So that right there, it may not seem like a lot forcing an enemy to use movement speed, but that's just a form of battlefield control. The fact that you can attack anything within 20 feet of yourself, you can basically be just this living fireball that attacks people every turn with an elemental fire attack. So yeah, it's a very useful thing to have. And then on top of that, the other part of this ability is whenever you hit an enemy, you can then have them make a strength save, and when they fail, you can either push them 5 feet away or pull them 5 feet towards you. So again, imagine that. It's like you can, this enemy comes up to you, you punch him away, and then he's just, again, another 10 feet away. You're going to definitely be able to, you're actually going to be able to kind of tank a little bit, like not exactly. But it's one of those things where if you're handling multiple enemies, which as a monk you don't really want to do because you are somewhat squishy, but the fact that you can then, or hey, you have a warlock, you punch him into Hunger of Hadar, or the Arms of Hadar, or any sort of AoE they've laid down, you can push them into fireballs. Yeah, the possibilities are endless. So, but again, it's a really interesting build, I think. I like the idea of basically just, again, having this 20-foot reach, essentially, whenever you make an attack. And yeah, so that's it. That's Johnny Lawrence, the Bugbear Elemental Monk. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I have to get working on the next MMA now, so sorry to hit you with a short one. Like I said, I will leave that poll in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, if you have any strong feelings one way or the other. I know some people come here for my D&D stuff. I know some people come here for the video games. Some of you might even come for both. I don't know. But yeah, and of course, if you can do the YouTube things, like subscribe, hit the bell icon, that would definitely help the channel out. And of course, keep doing what makes you awesome. Thank you very much, and goodbye.